The Merton Mysteries, a Learn English radio series from the British Council. Something She Ate, Episode 4.
Hello, my name's Amanda Carlton.
And I'm David Evans. And in this series, we aim to improve your English language skills with the help of a series of crime mysteries.
At the start of the story, we heard that a woman called Anna Jenkins went to a restaurant in Merton to celebrate the start of her new business.
She's an estate agent. That's someone who sells and rents property for other people. And she had just bought the business of another estate agent, a woman called Rita Wardle.
However, during the dinner, Anna Jenkins became very ill and had to go to hospital. And so PC Gweno went to investigate. Her boss, Inspector Tate, thinks that Anna Jenkins fell ill because of something she ate.
But PC Gweno thinks there could be another reason. And so in the last programme, she went to interview the other estate agent, Rita Wardle. Here's a part of their conversation.
So can I ask, how did you feel about her becoming your boss? I mean, you've been in the business much longer than she has.
Oh, my dear, I don't mind being Anna Jenkins number 2. In fact, I'm more than happy. The truth is, I need Anna Jenkins more than she needs me. Much more.
And why do you say that?
Well, the modern world was leaving me behind. Everything is on social media these days. Oh, I did my best, but I couldn't compete. When she offered to buy my business, I didn't have to think twice. She was doing me a favour. That's the way I see it.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Wardle. That's very helpful.
Oh, but there is one other thing I should mention.
Oh, yes? What's that?
Well, just before she collapsed in the restaurant, she asked for her bag.
Her handbag?
Yes. I don't know whether it's important, but I thought I should mention it.
Thank you, Mrs. Wardle.
Well, Rita Wardle tells PC Gweno that Anna Jenkins had lots of enemies. So is it possible that someone tried to poison her? In our first scene today, PC Gweno returns to Merton Police Station and speaks to Inspector Tate. He has been on the phone to the hospital and says,
They say they're going to keep Anna Jenkins in for another night.
PC Gweno asks if they can speak to her, but Inspector Tate says,
No, they say she's still not well enough.
Then they talk about why she fell ill. The inspector says,
It was the food. It was something she ate.
PC Gweno, of course, doesn't agree. She says,
I think someone put something into her food or her drink last night.
And here are 2 questions for you. Is Inspector Tate interested in her idea? And who wants to speak to PC Gweno at the end of the scene?
I see. Well, thank you. Thank you for your help.
Hello, Inspector.
Ah, Gweno. That was the hospital on the phone. They say they're going to keep Anna Jenkins in for another night.
Well, can we talk to her?
No. They say she's still not well enough.
Oh. So do they know what's wrong with her?
Well, they didn't actually tell me, but it's obvious, isn't it? It was the food. It was something she ate.
But nobody else at the restaurant last night has complained. Why was she the only person to fall ill? You see, I think there might be another explanation.
Oh, do you?
I think someone did it deliberately.
What do you mean?
I think someone put something into her food or drink last night.
Oh, Gweno!
No, I'm serious. I spoke to the waitress and she told me that during the dinner, Rita Wardle was looking at Anna Jenkins as if she hated her.
Gweno?
And so I went to speak to Rita Wardle and she told me that Anna Jenkins had lots of enemies.
Gweno, stop right there. You're wasting your time. And we have more important things to do.
Oh, Inspector, please, just listen.
Now. Oh, who's that? Can it wait?
I'm sorry, Inspector, but there's a man out here asking to speak to PC Gweno.
Who is it?
He says he's from a restaurant. He says he's got something for her.
Really? Well, tell him to come in.
So, is Inspector Tate interested in PC Gweno's idea? No, he says,
Gweno, stop right there. You're wasting your time. And we have more important things to do.
who wants to speak to PC Gweno at the end of the scene? A policeman knocks on the door and says,
There's a man out here asking to speak to PC Gweno. He says he's from a restaurant. He says he's got something for her.
It sounds like it's Mr. Gordini, the owner of the White Tower restaurant. And so PC Gweno says,
Tell him to come in.
You're listening to the Merton Mysteries, a Learn English radio series from the British Council. And don't forget, you can find more resources at our website at learnenglish.britishcouncil.org. At the start of the next scene, Mr. Gordini comes into the room and says,
I am sorry to disturb you.
PC Gweno asks him,
So, Mr. Gordini, do you have something to tell us?
And here are 3 questions for you. What has Mr. Gordini found? Where was this thing? And at the end of the scene, what does he invite Tate and Gweno to do?
This way, please, sir.
Ah, PC Gweno. I'm sorry to disturb you.
That's quite all right. This is Mr. Gordini, Inspector, the owner of the White Tower restaurant.
Good evening, Mr. Gordini.
Hello, Inspector.
So, Mr. Gordini, do you have something to tell us?
Well, yes. You see, we found Anna Jenkins' handbag.
Did you?
Yes. I thought it might be important, so I brought it straight here.
You did the right thing, Mr. Gordini. So where was it?
Carrie, you know, the waitress. She found it in the ladies' toilets. It was in a cupboard, so she didn't come across it until this afternoon.
And how do you know this bag belongs to Anna Jenkins?
Because I looked inside and found her driving license.
I see.
And there is also something else I want to say.
Oh, yes? What's that?
Whatever happened to Anna Jenkins had nothing to do with the food she ate in my restaurant. You must understand, my food is the best food in Merton.
Of course it is, Mr. Gordini.
If you don't believe me, I invite you for a meal with us any time you like, free of charge.
That's very kind of you, Mr. Gordini, but that won't be necessary. We will do a thorough investigation into this, I can assure you.
So what has Mr. Gordini found? He says,
We found Anna Jenkins' handbag.
and where was it? He tells them,
Carrie, you know, the waitress, she found it in the ladies' toilets. It was in a cupboard.
and at the end of the scene, what does he invite Tate and Gweno to do? He says,
I invite you for a meal with us anytime you like, free of charge.
he wants to prove that his food is the best in Merton, but Inspector Tate says to him,
That's very kind of you, Mr. Gordini, but that won't be necessary. We will do a thorough investigation into this, I can assure you. You're listening to the Merton Mysteries, a Learn English radio programme from the British Council.
As soon as Mr. Gordini has gone, PC Gweno says,
Well, this could be interesting.
and she explains why.
You see, Rita Wardle told me that Anna was asking for her handbag in the restaurant just before she collapsed.
She tips all the things in the handbag onto the desk and starts to look through them. And then she finds something interesting which she shows to Inspector Tate. He says,
It's just a cutting from a newspaper, a rather old newspaper.
PC Gweno looks at it and says,
A photograph of two people. Well, well, well.
So who are the two people in the photograph? And where are they? Let's find out.
Well, this could be interesting.
Oh, yes.
You see, Rita Wardle told me that Anna was asking for her handbag in the restaurant just before she collapsed.
Was she indeed?
So let's have a look. Oh, I think I'll just tip it out.
Careful!
It's all right, Inspector. So, let me see. What have we got here? Car keys, house keys, makeup, a purse, oh, with some money in it, credit cards. Just a moment. What's this?
What?
Look at this.
It's just a cutting from a newspaper. A rather old newspaper by the look of it.
Yes, a photograph of two people. Well, well, well.
Do you know them?
Yes, of course I do. It must have been taken a few years ago, but this is Rita Wardle. And next to her, that's Anna Jenkins' Uncle Elliot. They look about 10 years younger, but it's definitely them.
Rita Wardle is looking rather pleased with herself.
And Elliot Jenkins is looking absolutely furious.
Yes. And it looks to me as if they're standing outside Merton Courthouse.
The Merton Courthouse? Oh, yes, you're right. So what are they doing there?
Well, why would anyone have their picture taken outside the Merton Courthouse?
Because they've just been to court, I suppose. So why were these two in court, I wonder? And why did Anna Jenkins have this photograph in her handbag last night?
Oh, Gweno, forget about it. As I've told you, we have more important things to do.
Well, who are the two people in the photograph? PC Gweno says,
This is Rita Wardle. And next to her, that's Anna Jenkins' uncle, Elliot.
Remember, Anna's Uncle Elliot also works in Anna's business. PC Gweno adds,
They look about 10 years younger, but it's definitely them.
Inspector Tate says,
Rita Wardle is looking rather pleased with herself.
and Gweno replies,
And Elliot Jenkins is looking absolutely furious.
So where are they? Inspector Tate says,
They're standing outside the Merton Courthouse.
a courthouse is a building that contains law courts, a place where criminal trials and legal hearings are held. PC Gweno asks,
Why were these two in court, I wonder? And why did Anna Jenkins have this photograph in her handbag last night?
So have they found an important clue in the case of Anna Jenkins? Why did she fall ill in the restaurant that night? Was it just something she ate? Or could there be another reason? Now here's a chance to hear a part of today's drama again.
I see. Well, thank you. Thank you for your help.
Hello, Inspector.
Ah, Gweno. That was the hospital on the phone. They say they're going to keep Anna Jenkins in for another night.
Well, can we talk to her?
No, they say she's still not well enough.
Oh. So do they know what's wrong with her?
Well, they didn't actually tell me, but it's obvious, isn't it? It was the food. It was something she ate.
But nobody else at the restaurant last night has complained. Why was she the only person to fall ill?
But that's all for today. You've been listening to The Merton Mysteries, a British Council Learn English radio series. And remember, you can find more resources at the British Council Learn English website at learnenglish.britishcouncil.org. Until next time, from Amanda Carlton and me, David Evans.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.